There are two kinds of people in this world, those who drift and those who design. The drifters wake up each day as passengers in their own story. They live by default, reacting, surviving, hoping that something good might happen if they just wait long enough. But the designers, they live by intention. They carve meaning into every moment. They move with precision, clarity, and purpose. Not because life is easier for them, but because their vision is louder than their excuses. And the truth is, success does not respond to the wishful. It responds to the visionary, to the person who sees something so vivid in their mind that it becomes reality, not because of luck, but because of alignment. So let me ask you, what are you building? Not what are you doing? Not what job you have, not what degree you earned. What are you building? Because a powerful vision is not just a goal on a board. It's a blueprint for becoming. It's the North Star of your identity, the deep, relentless image of who you're here to be, painted in colors so bold the world has no choice but to move out of the way or follow your lead. But vision without clarity is just noise. And that's where most people stay, clouded, confused, scattered. They want more, but they haven't defined what more means. They feel called, but they've never clarified the call. And so they spin. They start and stop. They wander through projects, relationships, even decades without direction. But that ends here, because clarity isn't a gift. It's a discipline. You earn it in silence. You sharpen it through reflection. You speak it into the mirror until your soul believes it. What do you see? Not what they see. Not what you've been told to want. What do you see? That's where it begins. And once you see it, once you dare to define it, you must defend it. Because the moment you declare a powerful vision, the world will test your loyalty to it. Comfort will tempt you. Distractions will invite you. Doubt will whisper lies that sound like wisdom. But your job is not to negotiate. Your job is to build every single day. With every thought, every choice, every action, you build your future or you betray it. There is no neutral. You are either feeding your vision or feeding your fear. And here's the truth. Few will tell you. Your vision doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to how you move. So move with intention. Design your days around your destiny. Craft your mornings with obsession. Guard your evenings with honor. And treat your energy like sacred currency, because that's exactly what it is. Don't waste it on gossip. Don't waste it on worry. Don't waste it on people who do not fan your flame. Your vision is not a hobby. It's a responsibility. It's the future waiting to be written through you. And the price of that future? It's everything that's not aligned with it. That includes your old identity. Because you cannot carry a powerful vision into your next level while dragging the dead weight of who you used to be. You must let go of excuses, of delays, of the belief that says, maybe one day, instead of, why not this day? You must rise. And rising means becoming obsessed with the process, not just the prize. It means falling in love with the grind before the glory. It means doing the work when no one claps, when no one calls, when no one believes, but you. Because that's the mark of a visionary. They don't wait for the world to see it. They see it first. And then they become it one aligned decision at a time. Until success has no choice but to show up. Not as a gift, but as a mirror, a reflection of what you've already decided to be. So what will your mirror say? Will it reflect compromise? Or will it reflect conviction? Will it reflect hesitation? Or will it reflect a life designed in fire, built in silence, and lived with relentless purpose? Because make no mistake, the vision that commands success isn't the one you whisper. It's the one you prove. Now prove it, breathe it, build it, and let the world feel it. Let the world feel it in your footsteps, not just where you walk, but how you walk. Let them feel it in your voice, not in volume, but in vibration. Let them feel it in your presence, that quiet, unshakable knowing that this life, this mission, this vision is non-negotiable. Because that's what it takes to command success. Not volume, not flash, not noise, certainty. Success doesn't follow the loudest person in the room. It follows the most aligned. The one who wakes up with intention, not obligation. The one who shows up with focus, not frenzy. The one who keeps promises to themselves, even when no one is watching. Because vision without integrity is manipulation. And the world is tired of being manipulated. But the world moves for the person who lives with integrity to their vision. It watches them. It tests them. It resists them at first. But eventually it yields. Because when you refuse to bend, when you keep building while others break, when you keep walking when the path disappears, the world begins to adjust to you. That's when you stop chasing success and it begins to chase you. That's when doors open. That's when alignment finds you. That's when your name is spoken in rooms you've never entered because your results walked in first. And all of it, every bit of it was born from the fire of your vision. But fire doesn't stay lit without fuel. So fuel it. Fuel it with belief that can't be borrowed. Fuel it with clarity that cuts through chaos. Fuel it with discipline that defies comfort. Fuel it with action that moves mountains before breakfast. And when the fire gets low, when life throws cold winds and long nights, you protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Because your vision isn't just for you. It's for the world you're here to shift. The lives you're meant to touch. The generations you're meant to elevate. This isn't about success for the sake of a paycheck. This is about legacy. About becoming a living permission slip for every soul who's been told to dim down, to play safe, to be realistic. Your vision is rebellion. It's resistance to mediocrity. It's a declaration that you will not settle, you will not shrink, you will not apologize for wanting more and for being willing to become more to have it. And that becoming? That's the real goal. Because the real vision is not just the life you're building. It's the you must become to build it. It's the character you forge, the courage you claim, the clarity you embody, the standard you set so high that it elevates everyone around you, not because you ask them to, but because your presence demands it. And that's the moment you become more than a person. You become a movement, a walking example of what happens when someone stops negotiating with life and starts leading it. So lead it. Lead it with precision. Lead it with passion. Lead it with purpose that makes excuses irrelevant. Lead it with a vision so magnetic, so refined, so real that success doesn't need to be chased. It simply shows up to serve the one who had the audacity to see it first. Because that's what vision does. When it's real, it magnetizes. It pulls in resources. It attracts alignment. It clarifies decisions. It removes distractions like a sword cutting through fog, but only if it's real. Not the kind of vision you write once and forget. Not the kind of dream you post for likes but never live. I mean, real vision born from fire. Vision born from pain you've turned into fuel. Vision born from silence so deep it heard your soul speak. Vision that doesn't just look good, it feels true. The kind of vision that doesn't need convincing because it already lives in your bones. And if your vision is real, then the mission is clear. Become the person that vision requires. That's it. That's the game. Not what do I need to get there, but who do I need to become to make it inevitable? Because when you become that person, the one who can carry it, lead it, protect it, the world gives you the outcome. Not because it's fair, because it's ordered. The universe bows to those in alignment with their highest self. And that alignment, it starts with standards. You want your vision to command success? Then your standard must command your behavior. You must hold yourself at such a high level, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for what you've been called to create, that sloppiness can't live near you. Not in your calendar, not in your habits, not in your circle. That means cutting fast what doesn't align. That means protecting your energy like royalty guards a crown. That means saying no to the old self, even when it shows up dressed as nostalgia. Because vision is expensive, and the price is everything that no longer serves it. So yes, there will be sacrifice. There will be lonely seasons. There will be moments of doubt, days where the path feels buried under setbacks and silence. But that's the test. That's how the universe asks, do you really mean it? And how you respond, not with feelings, but with follow-through, is what separates the visionary from the talker, the finisher from the dreamer, the legendary from the forgotten. So how will you respond? Will you drift like the masses? Or will you decide with every fiber of your being to let your vision become your voice, your rhythm, your compass? Because when you do, you won't need to chase success. You are success, not because of what you have, but because of what you've become. You've become the kind of person whose very existence sets a standard. You walk in vision. You breathe in intention. You speak with clarity, not confusion. You move with purpose, not panic. Because when vision is that real, it's no longer something you hold, it's something that holds you. It becomes the lens through which you see every moment. It becomes the foundation beneath every decision. It becomes the fire you return to when the world gets cold. And most of the world, let's be honest, is cold. They've traded imagination for imitation. They've given up wonder in exchange for comfort. They've stopped dreaming, not because the dream died, but because the world convinced them it was safer not to believe. But you made a different choice. You chose to keep believing. You chose to protect the flame. You chose to build what didn't yet exist because you felt it long before you could prove it. And now you are the proof. You are the living, breathing embodiment of what happens when a person doesn't just set goals, but sets identity. You no longer ask, how long will it take? You ask, how far can I go? Because now it's not about arrival. It's about alignment. It's about waking up every day and meeting your vision in the mirror. Not to impress the world, but to make yourself proud. Because you know, no amount of external applause will ever replace the power of internal alignment. No title will ever replace truth. No paycheck will ever replace peace. And peace doesn't come from perfection. It comes from living in purpose, from knowing you're on the path, from knowing your vision isn't waiting out there. It's being built in here. In the hard conversations, in the early mornings, in the standards you keep when no one's keeping score. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know you've crossed the line. You're no longer interested in the idea of success. You've become the system that success flows through. And the more you live in that identity, the more powerful your vision becomes. Not because it changes, but because you do. And now, you are no longer moved by trends. You move them. You are no longer confused by noise. You cut through it. You are no longer slowed by resistance. You lead through it. Because this is no longer just about achieving a goal. It's about becoming a presence so aligned, so strong, so unmistakably authentic that the world has no choice but to recognize you. Not because you shouted, but because you showed up every day as the person your vision asked you to be. And that is how you create a vision so powerful, it commands success. Because real vision doesn't plead, it doesn't beg, it doesn't wait for approval. It commands, not by force, but by frequency. It sends a signal into the universe so clear, so consistent, so full of purpose and alignment that opportunities, people, and resources begin to shift in your direction. And when they arrive, it's not a surprise. It's not luck. It's evidence. Evidence of everything you've done in the dark. Evidence of the choices you made when quitting would have been easier. Evidence that you didn't build this because you were certain of the outcome, but because you were committed to the process. You see, the most powerful visions aren't built by those who had the best start. They're built by those who refuse to stop. those who were relentless with their inner work, who confronted their excuses with brutal honesty, who showed up when no one was watching, and especially when no one was clapping. Because that's where vision is truly tested. Not in the beginning, when everything feels exciting, but in the middle when it feels like nothing is working, when momentum disappears, when the grind gets lonely and the path gets steep. That's where most people turn around. But you dig deeper because you understand vision is not a moment. It's a marathon. It's not what you dream when you're inspired. It's what you build when you're tired. And that's the edge. That's the separator. That's why you will win, not because it was easy, but because it was aligned. Aligned with the version of you that said, I will not die with this fire still in me. And you won't. You'll let it out in your work, your voice, your leadership, your results. Not someday, but now, because you finally understand. You are not waiting on the vision to show up. The vision is waiting on you to rise, to decide, to execute with the kind of consistency that makes success inevitable. Not because the odds were in your favor, but because you outgrew the odds. You didn't just want it, you became it. And now, every step you take is a declaration. I am the one. I see it clearly. I live it daily. And I will not stop until the world sees it too. That is what it means to create a vision so powerful it commands success. It starts with belief. It's fueled by discipline. It's guided by clarity. And it's finished always by the one who refused to quit. So don't quit. Not now. Not ever. Because this vision, your vision, it's not just an idea. It's a calling. It's the reason you wake up restless. It's the fire in your chest when you see someone else settle. It's the ache in your gut when you know you were made for more and you refuse to pretend otherwise. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's the universe whispering, it's time. Time to stop flirting with your potential and start committing to it. Time to stop watching others win and start becoming the one who sets the standard. Time to stop waiting for life to change and start commanding the change, not with noise, but with relentless, disciplined, quiet execution. And as you build this vision, as you forge it into the fabric of your life, you'll find the most beautiful truth of all, that the success it brings is not the reward. You are. The clarity you gained, the discipline you practiced, the purpose you lived, the self you became in the process of pursuing something so honest, so pure, so aligned, that alone is the victory. The world will see the achievements. The world will admire the outcomes. But you'll know the real prize wasn't what you got. It was who you became to get it. That's what lasts. That's what echoes. That's what inspires. Not the number in the bank, not the name on the building, but the depth of the person behind it all. And that person, that's you now. You who walked the fire. You who sharpened vision in silence. You who refused to fall asleep at the wheel of your own life. You who made a decision and kept making it long after the feeling was gone until the identity was carved in stone. And now, you lead, not from above, but from within. You teach not with words, but with how you move. You inspire not by trying, but simply by being. That's the power of a vision that commands success. It doesn't knock. It enters. It doesn't request. It reshapes. And now, with every breath you take, every move you make, every day you wake, the world feels it. And it will never be the same again. Because once you step into a vision that big, that bold, that true, the world doesn't just respond. It rearranges. It starts bending toward your frequency. Because you've stopped asking, what's the shortcut? You've stopped asking, where's the easy way? And you've started declaring, this is who I am now. This is what I'm building. This is the standard I live by, whether the world is watching or not. And when you live like that with vision pulsing through your every choice, you become unshakable. You stop reacting to the noise. You start orchestrating the signal. You stop trying to fit in. You start creating the space where others rise. And that is rare. Because most people don't live with vision, they live with reaction. Most people don't build from purpose, they build from pressure. Most people don't move from alignment, they move from anxiety. But you've made the shift. You've decided that your life will be a living sculpture of intentionality, every word, every action, every hour chiseled into the image of a destiny you designed. And the most powerful part? You're just getting started. Because a vision that commands success is not a destination. It's a direction. It's a way of being. And every step you take in that direction builds confidence, builds clarity, builds momentum, until one day, without even realizing it, you look up and see it. You're living the vision that once only existed in your imagination. You're breathing in the results of the consistency you once thought no one saw. You're surrounded by the evidence of a life built not on chance, but on choice. And you smile, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. Because you know what it cost. You know what you gave up. You know how many nights you stood alone with only your belief? And you know without a single doubt that you became the one who didn't just dream, the one who didn't just start, the one who finished. So keep walking, keep rising, keep building, and let every brick you lay be a reminder. That vision is not something you wait for. Vision is something you become. And when you become it, success doesn't get a vote. It obeys. Because success at its highest level is not a destination you reach. It's a consequence of alignment. It's the echo of discipline meeting destiny. It's the shadow that follows you when you no longer chase outcomes, because outcomes chase you, not out of luck, but out of loyalty to your standard. You've built this. You've earned this. With every moment you refused to be average. With every time you chose depth over distraction. With every step forward, when it would have been easier to turn around. That's what it means to live with vision. It doesn't just change your life. It changes your lineage. It changes what your children see. It changes what your circle expects. It changes the way people speak your name, not with doubt, but with reverence. Because you showed the world that vision isn't for the few, it's for the decided. You became the evidence. And now there is no going back. You couldn't shrink even if you tried. You couldn't unlearn your power. You couldn't unsee your potential because it's in you now, etched into your identity, woven into your decisions, stamped into your soul. And when others see you, not just what you've done, but who you are, they feel something shift because you're not just walking with confidence. You're walking with conviction. You're not just showing up for success. You're showing up for significance. You've crossed the line between living and leading, and the world will never be the same. So take this fire and fuel it every day. Take this clarity and sharpen it with action. Take this vision, your vision, and own it. Not timidly, not quietly, but fully. Let it radiate from you. Let it anchor you. Let it command the life you were born to live. Because you didn't come this far to build halfway. You came to build something eternal, something that echoes, something that multiplies long after you're gone. And it all started not with luck, not with resources, not with a perfect plan, but with a decision to see it, to believe it, to become it. And now that you have, let the world feel it. Because your vision is not a suggestion. It's a command. And success is already on its way. And when it arrives, not if, but when you will receive it not as a surprise, but as a return. A return on every early morning you rose with no reward in sight. A return on every lonely night you chose principle over popularity. A return on every decision that cost you comfort, but bought you capacity. Because this is what most don't understand. Success is not the gift. You are the gift. The success That's the receipt. It's the validation of a life lived with discipline, a mind wired for intention, a heart pulsing with vision so loud the world couldn't silence it. So when the applause comes, remain unmoved, not cold-centered, because you didn't build this for recognition. You built this from a responsibility that few were willing to accept. The responsibility to live on purpose, to die empty, to become what others only talk about. That's the edge. That's the weight. That's the honor. And now you carry it with grace, with strength, with clarity that cuts through chaos like a sword through fog. Because you know you don't need to force outcomes anymore. You just need to stay in character. The character you forged in fire. The one who doesn't flinch at failure. Because failure is simply feedback. The one who doesn't seek shortcuts. Because legacy has no elevator. The one who doesn't break under pressure because pressure built them. This is who you are now. Not someday. Now. And the world, it sees it. They may not understand it. They may not name it. But they feel it. The shift in your posture, the power in your pause, the stillness in your stride. They feel the presence of someone who doesn't need success to validate them because they've already been transformed by the pursuit. That's the goal. That's the win. That's the real miracle of vision. It doesn't just build your life. It builds you. And when you are built, when your foundation is so strong, so deep, so unmoved by winds and trends and noise, nothing can shake you. Nothing can break you. Nothing can steal what you've become. So rise. Walk into this next season, not as someone waiting to see if it works, but as someone who knows. It already has. Because your vision, it didn't just command success. It created it. And now, you live it. You lead it. You leave it behind for everyone else to rise. Because that's the final chapter of any powerful vision. It doesn't end with you. It extends, it expands, it echoes through time and across lives. Because when you rise, you don't just elevate yourself. You raise the frequency of every room you walk into. You raise the standard for your family. You shift the trajectory for your community. You make greatness normal. And that ripple effect, that is your real legacy. Not the money, not the titles, not the trophies, but the people who saw you live your vision without apology and decided they could too. That's what happens when you create a vision so powerful it commands success. You don't just build something, you become someone. You become the reminder, the living, breathing evidence that a single decision followed by consistent action, fueled by relentless belief, can change everything. And now, you've made that decision. You've taken those actions. You've embodied that belief. You've crossed the threshold from waiting to walking. So keep walking, with fire in your chest, with purpose in your spine, with a knowing so deep the world has no choice but to shift. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a new era, of a new standard, of a new definition of what's possible when someone finally decides to see the vision, to believe the vision, to become the vision. And now that you have, don't just live it, leave it behind. Because someone someday will look back and say, they made it look possible. They walked the path. They showed us the way. Let that be your name. Let that be your legacy. Let that be the reason the world rises higher, because you chose to live by vision so powerful. It commanded success.